Fox Toledo Hardcore Football is brought to you by Central Catholic High School. Now, here's all of tonight's action.
Welcome back to Hardcore Football with Howard Chen. Go Rangers!
And with that, welcome into the playoff edition of Hardcore Football. Most teams are sitting at home right now wishing their season was still alive. Central Catholic's made a habit of making it to the postseason, and the guy with the habit of being at all the big games is our main man, Mike Thompson, and here he is now.
Howie, thank you very much. Welcome to Week 11 and the playoffs, everyone. This is the time of year that has given Central Catholic problems since their 2005 state championship run. The Irish won just one playoff game in the last 6 years. Tonight, Central hosted Olmsted Falls to begin this year's playoffs. There's a look at Amir Edwards. That's off his second touchdown of the game that puts Central up 21-6. Let's pick it up in the second quarter. Olmsted Falls, that's not how you produce some offense. John Pearson forces the fumble. The Irish recover. That's going to set up Amir Edwards. Deshaun Kaiser hands it off to him. Edwards goes in, scores just before the half. 28-6 at the break. Central up 28-12 now in the third quarter. Kaiser finds Michael Anderson out in the flats, makes a move and a miss. Gets just outside the red zone. That's going to set up, who else? Amir Edwards bouncing off some guys. Where's he at? Going to the outside. He's in. Fourth touchdown of the night. That makes it 35-12, Central Catholic. Here comes the defense for the Irish. Eric Johnson, the big hit, forces the fumble. George Pendleton recovers. That drive was stalled. But then later, look at this. This pretty much the nail in the coffin once I find the ball. Alex Padilla, goes all the way, pick six. Defense huge for Central Catholic. They win this one by a final score of 48-19, just their second playoff win since their 2005 state title run. Now with this win for Central Catholic, they will be playing East Cleveland Shaw in next week's regional semifinal. Interesting to note about this one, East Cleveland Shaw, they upset Maple Heights. Now, you folks may remember Maple Heights. Quarterback Shaq Washington took his talents to Cincinnati. Well, Maple Heights knocked off Central Catholic a couple years ago. They had that tear through the Toledo City League. They are the two-time defending Division II state champions. Maple Heights was. Well, Cleveland Shaw upsets them. So next week, Central Catholic will be taking on East Cleveland Shaw. Site to be determined. We're thinking somewhere in between Toledo and Cleveland, which would be the Sandusky area, but we will know more later this week. That is pretty much the wrap-up for our first game of Week 11. Howie, you've got plenty more coming our way, don't you?
Oh, yes, we do. Division III ball, Elida and Bellevue, both with identical 7-3 records. First quarter, Elida's Reggie McAdams finds Brandon Stinson. This play went a lot longer, looks a lot longer in the box score, went 70 yards for the score. 7-0, Elida. Next possession for them. McAdams going deep over the middle to Jeremy Newby. 23 yards later, he has a touchdown too. It's 13-zip. Bellevue trying to mount a comeback. Jalen Santoro scrambling, throwing. Brendan Wagner. He gets the touchdown, but it's not enough. Elida wins big. Final score, 54-20. Meanwhile, the ever-dangerous Napoleon 5-5, but the record is deceiving. They were playing against Clyde to pick it up second quarter. 4th and goal, Brian Schlade is stuffed by the Clyde D, so it's still 13-7 for the Flyers right before the half. Clyde driving, looking for points, but Ryan Meyer's pass picked off nicely, diving style. Charlie Harris, good job for him, so it goes in the half, 13-7 Clyde. Third quarter, Flyers break it open. Brad Smith, 15-yard romp. Touchdown, Clyde wins, ends Napoleon's season 27-7. Well, coming up, we go Division 5. Games featuring local teams going against each other. Stay tuned for more playoff hardcore football next.
Now back to Fox Toledo Hardcore Football.
Division II ball, a good matchup here. Sandusky hosting Tiffin Columbian for Sandusky. Lucas Poggiali to Tristan Jeffries, no relation to Haywood or Greg. 25 yards, it's a touchdown, 7-6 for Sandusky. For Tiffin, Jack Jacoby, he tosses one to Jonah Dye for 6 points. Conversion no good. It's 14-12. More Tiffin. Ben Davis He tosses it to Jacoby for the reception. Hard hit. Still has the ball. Then more Tiffin. Davis to Die. Gets 6 points. This was a close game. Final score of this one only separated by 5 points. Columbian takes it 25-20. Well, Patrick Henry and Northwood have done this before in the playoffs. It was 2 years ago. The Patriots were top seeded and played like it, beating the Rangers 41-14. This year, the tides turned a bit. Northwood's got home field this time, but would that change the result? Fans at Northwood hoping so. First quarter, first drive, Northwood's field goal attempt is blocked. Second possession, they got inside the 10, also didn't score, but finally they got on the board on their third try in the first quarter. 3rd and 5, and Nick Russell to Dustin Fullenlove. Northwood up 7-0. Second quarter, Patrick Henry with the ball this time. On 3rd down for them, Gabe Jones, Nick Gershutz. Touchdown Patriots 7-7. Then they woke up a lot after that. Second quarter, PH Jones sweeping to the right and reaching over the goal line for the score. That made it 14-7. Patriots beating Northwood today 49-28. The winner of that plays the winner of this. Liberty Center against Cary, and Zach Niner, the guy who doesn't actually wear number 9 on his jersey, wears number 7, gets 7 points on the 51-yard touchdown run up the middle. He loves it too. Same quarter, Anthony Rayguy. 12 yards later, he's in. 21-0 after that, and that made it final score of this game, 28-0. Liberty Center pitching the shutout. Well, on the other end of the bracket, Hicksville and Hopewell Loudon first quarter. Hopewell down 7-0, but driving on Tyler Tyree. Picked off at the goal line. Dean Conley returns it a long way. Doesn't go for a touchdown, but he still returns it 77 yards all the way down to the Chieftain 23-yard line. 6 plays later, Nick Post. He scores from a yard out. Gets the job done. 14-0 Aces. Third quarter, Caleb Johns. He takes the toss to the right. 25 yards. 21-0 Hicksville. Then Justin Miller. Not Justin Bieber. He'll keep the ball. Goes 13 yards, and Hicksville upsets Hopewell Loudon. Wow. 28-7. Michigan football in the second round of their playoffs. Bedford is still alive and well. Second quarter, Pioneer driving with a 7-0 lead, but they lose the ball, and there's a huge pile. And Bedford's all over like wet on rice on the ensuing drive. Jonathan Shepard shepherds his way through 32 yards inside the 5-yard line, sets up a 1st and goal for the Mules. 2 plays later, Alec Holobarger, he plows it in. Takes the refs a little while, but eventually they call it, he's in. It's a touchdown. Ball game tied at 7s, but that would be the only touchdown scored by Bedford on the evening. Their season ends 35-10. Well, there are several area kickers being recruited, but none with the same fervor as Ottawa Hills junior Mike Geiger. Google his name and you'll see he's close to the top of several kicking charts. National programs don't need Google. They already know about Geiger. This week's focus on the Hardcore Recruiting Minute. Ready? Mike Geiger's a kid with some pumped up kicks. What's the longest field goal you've ever hit?
The longest field goal I've ever hit was 64 yards, but I'll tell you there's a ton of wind.
That came in practice, but during game day, Geiger's also proven to be highly effective.
88% of his kicks have gone in the end zone on our kickoff. It means we get a start defense at the 20. He controls the other team with the punt game, changes the field, and is a threat inside the 50 in terms of kicking field goals.
Schools like Alabama, Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State have sent letters to a guy ranked nationally at his position.
I actually think I'm making a visit to Michigan, Northwestern, and Virginia. So
I think, and other people believe, he's capable of playing at the very highest of levels. So it'll be exciting to see how that process works for Michael.
Right now, though, Mike's not focusing as much on recruiting, and you can forgive him for it, because he's pumping up his kicks for 2 teams, football and soccer, which are both still alive in the high school postseason. And the Green Bears play tomorrow night against Delphus St. John's. Up next, the season's very best. Hardcore hits at its finest. Don't go away. Hardcore football. We'll be right back. Toledo women's soccer soccer dominated the postseason awards. Coach of the Year, Player of the Year, that's all well and good, but anybody on that team will tell you a MAC tournament title would be even better. MAC semifinals today at Scott Park. Toledo coming off an 8-0 opening round win. That was your MAC Player of the Year, Rachel McLeod. It was tied at 1 second half, and McLeod coming through with the fine placement. 2-1. Just a few minutes later, Nicole Jurgic, her partner in crime, with a rocket, making it 3-1. Toledo wins. They're playing the MAC championship on Sunday afternoon.
Well, we just talked about it at halftime, just the things that we have to tweak a little bit, how we can try and get behind, and whether that was effective or not for us. I think it created some momentum. Whether that directly related to the goal or not is immaterial. It's getting the game flowing in a positive direction.
It was really big. We always say at halftime that we need to come out in the second half and bring an intensity and try to score early, and every time that we can do that, it's good for us.
Tomorrow night's games, 3 of the 4 Division I games, feature local teams. Whitmer Wayne, Southview hosts McKinley, and Findlay battles Hudson. Division 4, Genoa plays Huron. Eastwood looks to stay unbeaten against Ottawa Glandorf. And then in D6, Lipsticks, the top dog, against Arcadia. Winner there will take on either Edgerton or Macomb. Ottawa Hills has a tough test against Delphus St. John's, and Tiffany Calvert plays Eden. Ton of regional finals going on tomorrow for soccer and volleyball. Just a huge day. It's the final day for hardcore football, so here are your hardcore hits. Have a good night, everybody.
Well, yeah.
I'm tired. Make sure that you look.
It makes me feel so alive. It makes me feel so good. It makes me feel so good. It makes me feel so good. It makes me feel so alive.
He's got to run that ball.
It makes me feel so alive.
The first ever NBC football championship, Eastwood Eagles.
Yeah!